before we commence expelling this ghost from this location, before we save Jake from the lock, I will light the ceremonial herb that will give us the sight, that will give us the power we need to set Jake free. My Twitter's not working out here. Let's see if you can get a ghost. Go ahead and try.
I summon thee, ghost, into ghostly ghostness. Come the fuck out if you're a real ghost. Now. Demand it. This is how we fucking hunt ghosts. And as we've pointed out, and as we've said, there are no ghosts.
So this is where the ghost lives, from what we know. And he's not home. Let me see, let me try this. Jake, you may overtake my body. I accept you into my heart and soul. Please, if you are here, take control of me. Use me as a vessel.
Gross.
Nothing.
Yeah, no ghosts. So I guess the lesson of Beaver Creek is there's no such thing as a ghost, there's no God, and the Bible is a lie. Off to Helltown to find out what the government's up to in the middle of fucking nowhere, Ohio. Hell yeah, bumping out here. Can I get some of this safety herb in my lungs, please? And thank you, are welcome here. Jake, you can't have any because they drug test.
Yeah, if you go to work, man, you're gonna get drug tested.
Jake, you son of a bitch! You get out here! Hey, Jake! Ain't coming. He ain't coming because he's afraid of me, Brian Quinby from Street Fight Radio. Brett, would you like a shot at Jake?
Yeah.
Oh, I just fell in a hole. That was Jake. That was all Jake.
I think
we
Jake
found
do
the
that?
ghost.
Jake won't let you see your mention. He's like, don't look at your phone while you're at work, motherfucker.
Polite
It's
about
just
it.
not the polite way to have
Yeah.
sex.
That's just
I-
really one way to have sex
gonna-
that's polite, and it's to say, ma'am, or sir, or non-binary person, would you like to enjoy some making love with me? And then if they answer yes, then you mount that person and you move back and forth politely, and then you kind of finish it up and you say that was great, and then you never mention it again. That's the right way to have sex, okay?
And folks, and that's why we don't do any sort of sex advice or sex stuff on this show, because there's none to be given.
I am wise.
I want you to write the polite sex book, like the proper polite method.
I just said it.
How many times have you gone into work and then looked at your boss and said, what are they doing? You ever think about the levels at a job, Brett? Of course, the people on the very bottom. What do they do?
Usually clean.
Yeah, and then there is the people just above them. They're the ones that do the second hardest job at the place, right?
Deal with customers?
Yeah, that sort of thing. And then there's another level above that, and that's the manager that's in the place. Now let's think about what comes after that, right? You might have a guy named like Glenn that comes to your office every 6 months, and you have to lay out the red carpet for Glenn. Think about what the person above Glenn does. Jerry is the person above Glenn,
Okay,
right?
okay.
His job is basically going to lunch, right?
Yeah, powerful meetings,
Yeah.
shaking hands real hard.
We're gonna go up to the CEO now. The people that sit around a table and who knows what they're doing? Nobody knows what they talk about.
Playing cards.
What connection does that person have to what you do and what the customer gets? It just seems like you could really chop like 5 or 6 levels off of any job and the company would still run perfectly.
Think about your job. Now imagine your manager isn't there. how much smoother would your day run?
I mean, how many of you work a job where you don't even know who the fucking CEO is of the company? That means they're absolutely useless. They're parasites.
They're on the top, getting most of the money, sending their kids to private school, driving the fanciest cars, and they can't make a sandwich. Every new level of hierarchy is more money coming out of your paycheck. Unions are fucking great because it's not HR.
You need solidarity with the other workers. We need to use that and exercise that. You and your other workers are the most important people at that company. I mean, hell, the way I think about it, maybe you don't get a union at all and you just take the whole company away from the bosses, and that's called a co-op.
For the almighty dollar, everyone's a slave. Cause what's the point of doing shit if you ain't getting paid? Ay.
You know, you probably hear people constantly talking about this horrible thing called capitalism.
I have.
Yeah, you've heard that?
Yes.
You're like, what? How does capitalism affect me? I will tell you, it runs your entire fucking life. You've probably heard of socialism or communism. Communism. And they say they try to control your entire life. Your whole day is taken away from you. What control do you have over your day now?
Most people have to be chained to a desk for 40 hours a week and they're not allowed to leave.
When you wake up in the morning and you feel like shit and you have to wipe the sleep from your eyes and like look around and be like, why does this have to happen this early in the morning? That's a capitalism.
And it controls everything, like your healthcare, your education. It all comes down to making money, but some things just don't make money. Honestly, ask yourself, how afraid are you of getting an injury and how that could possibly fuck up your life?
Yeah, you're being stopped from skateboarding, breakdancing, doing anything fun, because if you get injured, you're fucked forever. You can't go to work.
And so then you have all these people that say, well, we can make a kinder capitalism, a more conscious capitalism. It isn't gonna fucking happen. We need anarchy, we need socialism, we need communism, we need anything but more capitalism.
But wait, Brett, when you go to the grocery store, you have almost unlimited choice. You can buy 100 different types of cereals.
All made from the same stuff with different graphics on the outside.
All corn. It's basically just a bunch of boxes of corn.
That's capitalism.
It actually treats about 1% of the population like humans, and the rest of us like tools for those superhumans. You don't have any money, your bank account's low? I know where the money is. Jeff Bezos has it, the Waltons have it.
And they took it from us, right?
They took it from us.
We're just getting our money back.
Yeah, your work made that money. You deserve that money. That's your money. The 1% has never decided to do the right thing. That's why we have to take power and just spread it out among the 100% of people that exist.
Oh my God, have you heard the news? Kids are dying of kratom.
That's not true.
They're injecting it into their veins.
I don't think that's happening.
An ABC Action News exclusive. A mom says a popular herb killed her son.
The most recent death happened in early June. Kratom, also known as metrogenine, was one of 4 drugs blamed for his death.
This was like the devil's drug.
It really is just a green powder that makes people feel better.
Yeah, it's a leaf. It grows from the ground, you smash it up, you make a tea out of it, you throw it down the back of your throat, you eat some capsules, and you feel better, your mind's clear. And most people that use kratom don't have access to healthcare or prescriptions or any of that regular medicine stuff. They get it from local stores or online.
Let's do an example here. You're a young person, you don't understand how all this works, so let me explain this to you. When you get hurt in your older age, let's say you're 34, you work on a roof, you fall off, and you crush your fucking heel, right? It's all shattered. The doctor 10, 15 years ago was like, that's fucked up, that really hurts. You're gonna need some opioids to kill that pain. And then the DEA says, no, you can't have those anymore. These doctors have to tighten up their prescriptions. And now you don't have any. You can't afford them. What do? You can take kratom. It has the same effects, it's less addictive, and it's more gross. So that even brings down the the use. You're not going to use it as much. Kratom kills the pain in your body. It also cures social anxiety.
The government's solution to stuff like this is always prohibition, which means putting more people in jail.
How big is your appetite for the war on drugs? I'm sure it's small. It's shrinking every single day. Don't let them continue it. Don't let them outlaw more stuff.
Good point.
Thank you.
I mean, I tell you what, even the jobs that paid me nothing, like when I was first learning them, it was like, all right, I can do this. You just need somebody to get the plates and make them go from here to here. I can be the master of that. I was really into that, and I can do that. But after a while, it's like, you guys treat me like shit, and I get the plates from here to here every fucking time, and you talk down to me and shit. What's going on?
Jesus,
you're counting my lunches. Like, you're looking at what I'm eating. You're like figuring out when I'm going out to smoke. Like, all of a sudden, you're in my shit. But all you said you wanted from me was the plates to go from here to here, and I'm getting the plates from here to here.
God, that was the most accurate representation of how I feel when I get a job. At first, I'm helpless. I'm a little baby. I'm sucking off the tea to the manager to tell me what I need to do. You know, I don't want to, my wings aren't fully formed yet. And then once I learn what I'm doing, I'm like, you know, y'all could treat me a lot better for this. I deserve a lot more for this.
Wow, this is some bullshit right here. Now that you kicked me out of the nest and I'm flying through the sky and trying to flap my wings here, I don't think you're giving me enough.
I don't like this.
You
at
didn't
all.
set me up right.
Can you imagine being that sensitive? Like you.
Well, that's
like
what
that
they're
is the
PC as
ultimate.
hell. Hey, you know what? This is the freest goddamn country, and it's so free that if you don't stand up, you aren't a free person. And goddamn it, boy, if you don't stand up right now, you ain't free. Because you have the freedom to do whatever you want. But I'm telling you, I have the freedom to make you feel bad for doing the freedom. Just get up and say you love it. Just get up right now, Copernic. God damn it. It's so free that you can't do it. You have to. It's free because there's only one way to be. That's why it's free. So be that. Damn you. They don't have anything to live. I mean, their kids hate them. They don't have, I mean, all their money got stolen by banksters and shit. Healthcare's running through the fucking roof.
Before we commence expelling this ghost from this location, before we save Jake from the lock, I will light the ceremonial herbs that will give us the sight, that will give us the power we need to set Jake free. My Twitter's not working out here. Let's see if you can get a ghost. Go ahead and try.
I summon thee, ghost, into ghostly ghostness. Come the fuck out if you're a real ghost. Now. Demand it. This is how we fucking hunt ghosts. And as we've pointed out, and as we've said, there are no ghosts.
So this is where the ghost lives, from what we know. And he's not home. Let me see. Let me try this. Jake, you may overtake my body. I accept you into my heart and soul. Please, if you are here, take control of me. Use me as a vessel.
Gross.
Nothing.
Yeah, no ghosts. So I guess the lesson of Beaver Creek is there's no such thing as ghosts, there's no God, and the Bible is a lie.
Hey Street Fighters, welcome to the show. We're glad you're here. It's Wednesday night, time for a street fight. Brian and I, Brett Payne, will do our live show. We'll yell at each other's faces like we started almost 9 years ago now. We've been spreading our mess across the U.S. and doing our podcast 2 times a week, every single week, Wednesday and Sunday nights, taking calls on Sunday nights. And actually, if you subscribe to the podcast, which you should, and leave 5-star reviews and all of that, we just did an interview with Morgan Harper. She's running for the 3rd district in Ohio. That's the Columbus area. She's going up against Joyce Beatty, the incumbent Democrat, and she had a lot of great things to say. So if you missed it or your feed updated too quickly, there is a really wonderful interview, and you can follow what she's doing at MH4OH on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thanks, Morgan, for being on the show. It was a lot of fun, and I understand your team was nervous before coming on the show. We're not trying to ruin anybody's campaigns here, so I'm glad it worked out. You can also support Street Fight Radio by heading over to patreon.com. That's where you sign up for a monthly donation. For that $5 a month, you'll get access to bonus audio, bonus video, and bonus zines. We just watched Some Kind of Monster, the Metallica documentary.
First half.
The first half of it.
We're going to finish it, I swear.
That's going up today over on Patreon. You can listen to Shocktober. You can listen to Teen Fight Radio. You can listen to American podcasts. You can listen to The Holy Boys and March Madness. That's all coming this month.
Tomorrow, March
to
Madness.
Patreon. So yes, bonus audio is happening. Lots of extra content. Brian's been working a lot on that, and I can't wait to hear it. So head over to patreon.com/StreetFightRadio and please support what we do. We're not selling you mattresses. We're not trying to sell you any sort of supplements or any LegalZoom, any of the horse shit you hear on other podcasts. We are ad-free for Street Fight Radio. Thanks for being here. I'm Brett. He's Brian. How's it going?
I'm okay.
I didn't do my dab.
Yeah, March Madness comes out, the first episode. Canada's favorite son, Don Cherry, tomorrow, with John Cullen, my co-host on the POD cast, and the wonderful Stefan Heck, the hosts of Block Party.
Genius.
Don Cherry, weird dude, man. Brett, I'll tell you this about him. He was voted in the top 10 most important Canadians in the history of the country, and he beat the guy that came up with universal health care. So,
wow.
That's Don Cherry tomorrow.
So this is
today.
So you did Shocktober about shock jocks. March Madness is about sports.
Sports talk. Okay, I couldn't do sports talk radio because honestly, here's the deal, everybody. There has to be an archive of the person that I'm covering. Basically, it has to be on YouTube because I have YouTube Premium, and that's how I listen to a lot of it because I'm doing it while I walk around, and a lot of them weren't there, but I picked some icons, obviously, and I'm listening to Sports Talk Radio for the first time with you.
So who else you got planned?
Jim Rome, worst person of all of them. I'm going to tell you right now, I have covered many radio guys now. Too many radio guys. Somebody told me today that I could have a PhD in media studies with the amount of stuff I've done about radio guys. And
if you wanted to get back in the Intelligista arena, right?
I know, I do, I should. But I told him, if you saw my Shock Jock spreadsheet, you would think I was a madman, to tell you the truth. But Jim Rome, the craziest of all of them. It's
Who's
just
Jim
a
Rome?
very hard thing. He's very, very, I'm trying to think of the word. He is aggressive. I mean, like he's yelling through his whole show, and then his callers call in and do rants. It's like a 3-hour rant set from a comedian, which my least favorite kind of comedy anyway. And boy, very hard. But also Colin Cowherd, the famous racist
Colin Cowherd.
Okay.
Mike Francesa and Bill Simmons, who is very dumb. But that's all of them. And then it's Holy Boys after that. But yeah, I'm doing another radio thing. It's fun. It's, you know what? It sucks to listen to hours upon hours of stuff you don't like. But the end product is always, I'm always so happy with the final product. I'm always so happy. Like, it is this cool thing where I get to live in a world that I don't live in. With the Shock Jocks, I did for a period live in that world. It's been 10, 15 years. And with the sports guys, I've never lived in that world. So I'm like living in this really weird world of sports, and these guys are fucking psychos, dude.
Well, I mean, and it is a continuation even of what we do. There are folks that were into the political talk radio, but there was also lots of guys on my job site that showed up immediately, turned on Texas Rangers baseball chat. That's all they wanted to hear.
Yes!
They wanted to hear about trades. They wanted to hear about sports, talk radio, whatever the scuttlebutt drama of the day was. They were dialed into it for 8 hours a day. They were while they were at work, you know.
Their opinions are always so wild. It's wild. The thing I like about sports talk radio, I think the most, is that, so with Shock Jocks, there are the people that call in who believe that they could just be doing their job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of course, there's that.
Yeah.
With sports talk, that's every single caller. And they don't just think they could take the host job. They think they could be the coach, the quarterback coach, the general manager. They think they could be working for a sports team.
They're drunk on 2020 vision. They're drunk on hindsight.
They are. They so are, dude. You just come in. They'll just come in on Monday and just be like, I mean, why did, like, one play in a game?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Why didn't he catch it?
Yeah.
It was right there in front of him. He should have caught the ball and got a touchdown. That's how you win the game.
It's nuts. Or like in a baseball game, they're like, remember that at bat in the fourth inning? I mean, what were they even thinking with that pitch? And you're like, it was one pitch. It felt like sometimes you just do things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I assume with sports, especially because I've bowled, not professionally, but how many times when you go bowling, do you get up to that line and you roll the ball and then you go, what the fuck was I doing there?
Yeah.
That's lost forever.
Yeah, I am bad at bowl. I'm not bad at bowling in that I did bowling as a kid. That was my like extracurricular activity, but it screwed me up as an adult because of what exactly you said. As soon as you release the ball, you're like, I should have done that different. God damn it. Why'd I do it like that for? I did it the wrong way. I meant to do it the right way.
I do that with video games too. I'll fucking die in a video game and be like, what was I even fucking doing there? What the hell? You know, I imagine that happens in sports. You know, I know it's expected to not happen.
It's
but
a lot
it
of
has
pressure.
to happen. Yeah.
It's sports.
Yeah. There's so many people watching them.
It is.
Even.
Yeah, it's something, honestly, that I never... So I had a prolific sports card collection as a kid.
Me too.
But that was only because I think of like entrepreneur stuff. That was only because I could go sell the Barry Bonds for more money than I got it for, you know?
Yeah, we were actually...
But like daily conversations about sports games, never in my life have I even dipped my toe into that.
It's funny, when we were driving home from Detroit, we had like a really funny conversation about Funko Pops.
Mm-hmm.
And because John, my co-host on the POD cast, Stefan told the listeners not to send John Funko Pops, so they sent him like 35 Funko Pops. And
smart.
So he has a bunch of Funko Pops, and we were talking about how, like, well, they're like a huge waste of plastic, and you know, this and that, and they make so many of them, and how can they ever be worth they're not going to be worth anything ever. We've seen this, it's happened, we've gone through it. The Beanie Babies, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Beanie Babies were already a thing.
Yeah, and it was like, so everybody thought the Beanie Babies were worth so much, and now they're worthless. And so I go, Brett, look up the fucking Beanie Babies and tell me how much they're worth. And people still paying $20,000 for the fucking Beanie Babies.
There is most of the Beanie Babies are worthless.
Yes.
But some of the Beanie Babies is worth $10,000-$15,000.
Yeah, we gotta stop letting that happen. Why are baseball cards worthless? Like, what even happened?
So there's one or it's the same thing. Is there's one or two that people will pay a lot of money for. The rest are nothing.
Yeah, my buddy, when we were younger, he was trying to be like a hipster underground guy. So he collected. We all collected like a player. We would like pick a player and collect them. Bo Jackson and Jose Canseco were mine.
Good choice.
Right? Yeah. Well, because they're the good players.
Yeah, Star
right?
Chaser, bandwagoner.
Yes. And my buddy was like, I only collect Robin Yount. And like, he had so many Robin Younts. And I was like, why do you have them? And he was like, his rookie card's worth $36.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, but
but that is, I mean, it really is what it is at this point. Is it's gambling.
Yeah.
What it's always been is gambling. Like, you can get a card from somebody that's starting this year that later on will be worth a lot of money. Everything else is just for riffling through in your fucking basement.
Yeah, I really think that, like, I don't even feel like... I feel like they're all on the phone now. I know that's a stupid thing to think. I'm sure they still make hard ones. But I can't... I mean, are they making
There's still money.
baseball cards?
Yeah, they're still worth money. LeBron James rookies are worth money. There's still money to be made from it.
God, you know so much about what's worth money. It's
I
amazing.
care about yeah, like,
but
it's I wish I didn't have to pay attention to things that were worth lots of money, but I still have this like general anxiety about my situation where I'm like, I should know what's worth money.
Yeah.
Just so I can pick something out that I can steal or buy for a lesser price and
save.
Yeah, or hold on to.
Yeah, I was listening to Howard Stern the other day, and he has like 3 storage spaces full of memorabilia and shit. And he was telling them to throw it away. And I was like, there's probably a bunch of like priceless shit in there that I would love to have. And he's just like, throw it in the trash. But then when I think about it, it's like, it's not worth anything. None of this stuff is worth anything.
I mean, it's worth enough to get a few $100s for like to get a hotel away with your spouse, right? I mean, it's nothing that's going to change your life.
But that you know what's true though. You know what is true. I did have that Mars Volta album that's now worth $500.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I paid $30.
I met you. No, I met you when you did that. I met you when I was like, I like vinyl records, and you were like, oh, I got a whole box of them. I'm just getting rid of them, and I didn't take them from you because I was too new in the friendship to just like take all your records.
Didn't you take a few?
I didn't get any from you. I don't remember.
That was stupid of
No,
me.
Adam
There were
has
some good ones.
Adam showed me all the records he got from you, and it was like a few $1,000s worth of records.
Yeah,
dude.
Wu-Tang Clan was in there. Straight Outta Compton was in there.
Really, Francis the Mute and D-Louse in the Comatorium is a fucking $1,000.
I know.
Easy
I know.
money.
I don't know why I did it. I thought it was just worth $30, dude.
Yeah, to you it was.
Yeah.
I mean,
nobody's gonna buy it for $500. If I put it up for sale, nobody will buy it.
The thing about it is these conversations are also these conversations come out of like economic scarcity. It's not a matter of like being fans of stuff. It's like putting a bet down.
Yes.
You know, it's like, I just need this. I'll buy this piece of memorabilia because one day it'll be worth more. Even back in the day, I remember people saving all their McDonald's toys because they thought those things would be collectible. It's like, nobody wants McDonald's toys.
I know. That's what I was thinking with the record, too. Well, first of all, what I thought with the record was that they were just going to make a zillion of them. That was like, I was just like, they're just going to make a million fucking D-Loused in the Comatoriums and Francis the Mutes. They're going to keep printing those things for the rest of our lives.
You're right. We are right, though. The thing about it is you really can't predict. And I guess I am more into culture, and I have a tendency to find things right before they break. Mm-hmm. So some of the stuff that I purchase, it's like people listen to Street Fight. 10 years from now, some of this stuff other people might be way more interested in. I mean,
there's a good possibility that first zine is worth something sometime because we only made 300 of them.
Right. And depending on the outcome of where we end up, I mean, that changes the results. But I do want to give you, I want to say you're right. So when we were younger, and there are people that are 20 years old that don't remember this, but Beanie Babies came out at McDonald's. And hundreds of people flocked to stores and threw fits. And there was adults that were like, I want to buy 36 Happy Meals. And they were like, I'm sorry, we only sell them 6 at a time. You can't buy more than 6 Happy Meals at a time. And they're screaming at them, right? And they're throwing a fit in front of hundreds of other adults and other adults that also want to buy 36 Happy Meals that are like spilling out the door.
Yeah. Like the Szechuan sauce, but it went on forever.
It was the Szechuan sauce.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a reoccurrence of that because people wanted these things so bad. I'm looking on eBay right now. McDonald's TY Beanie Babies, $19.99 full set, 12-piece, new in package, $14.25,
Yeah.
free shipping.
Yeah. Yeah. But that one there, that is such good proof. I mean, that was the Szechuan sauce. I wish I could have just gone to the McDonald's when the Szechuan sauce thing was happening and be like, this isn't going to be worth shit.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And the thing about it is that here's what I would say, from my point of view as a hustler and a flipper, if there's a lot of people around when you're about to score something exclusive, it ain't shit. It ain't worth money. You need to invest in things where there's 6 other people there with you. Like, I remember taking my wife to concerts where she was like, she thought we were going to an arena, and I took her to a fucking bar with 12 people to go see some tiny bands way before they were huge.
Yeah, I did a lot of that too.
That's an exclusive experience.
Yes.
Like, that was kind of starting with the baseball cards with Upper Deck and Topps when they fucked it up in the 90s, when they started calling everything limited edition. Walmart started making limited edition toys. Once they started saying that's what it was, it's never going to be that.
No, it can't be, right? It's like
it defies the definition.
Right. The only people that still do it right is the streetwear companies, basically. They make scarce things.
Yeah, you have to.
And like that seems like that actually like when I buy that shit, I'm like, it's super expensive, but it's like, I mean, I could probably sell it again and make more money, probably, because they tend to not go down very much. But even then, I don't think that like my bait fucking shirt that I just ordered is gonna go fucking like in 20 years nobody's gonna give a shit.
It's not an investment. Yeah.
In 20 years nobody's gonna give a shit about Bape. Nobody in 10 years.
I just spent like my childhood basically on Sundays. If we could get up at 7 a.m, we could go hitch a ride in the van down to the flea market. I had neighbors that sold at the flea market every single Sunday, and we would ride down there with them. And that was all speculation. That was all people that were sifting through junk and just speculating that at some point this cookie jar's going to be worth 2 times what I paid for it today. You know?
You can buy really good things at a flea market, but it's like a lot mostly. But I think it's irony buys. I don't think that there's
it should be practical. I mean, it's practical buys. I think that like the big paydays on on rare items are something that are not. I don't know. They're just a great story. It's cool that like a Beanie Baby is worth $12,000, but there's
you gotta find somebody to buy it.
Yeah, right.
You know, that's the fucking main problem. I remember with baseball cards, like
you're gonna be one of 12. You're gonna be one of like 1,000 people in the world that have the Beanie Baby too. It's not gonna be like anybody could have bought the Beanie Baby, you know.
and when you bring out the Beanie Baby, people will be like, "Damn, that's worth $12,000." But then they'll just be like, "All right, whatever."
Why didn't you trade it in for $12,000?
I know. Why didn't you get the $12,000?
Either you could have $12,000 or you could have this Beanie Baby. Why would you have this?
My neighbor across the street growing up was a heavy flea market dude. Was just like the most flea market guy. He sold stuff there and he bought everything there.
Yeah.
And it would be really wild, like when a cultural event would happen, he would just buy, for example, when Princess Diana died, he bought everything with her face on it. Everything. It was just, their whole house was filled with Princess Diana stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was always so wild to me because at the time I was like, this stuff is going to be worth so much money. Because I didn't know. I never thought about having to sell it. But I'll tell this story and we can probably move on from this. But we bought, what is the goddamn brand of cards? Baseball cards. But
Topps, Upper Deck.
Was it an Upper Deck card? The
Donruss, yeah.
Donruss, yeah. The Jose Canseco. Fleer. Okay, so I bought a pack of Fleer cards.
Ultras.
Probably
With the black and white?
Right. So I got a card that said Dream Team at the top, and it had Jose Canseco with a bat over his shoulder, and he wasn't wearing a shirt. And I was like, this is the fucking greatest card I've ever seen. Greatest. You know, I thought it was the coolest fucking thing. And I held on to it. We went and got a Beckett. And this card was worth $16, which to me at the time might as well have been worth $2,000. So I was like, I'm gonna go down to the card shop. I'm gonna sell this fucking $16 card. Maybe get a pack of smokes, throw in on a bag of weed, get some alcohol or something like that. You know, just I'm gonna trade it in. I'm gonna trade in my investment for $16. And the goddamn, I take it in there, and the guy's like, I'll give you $8. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess. And I sold it to him for $8. And that's when I learned that, like, things are only worth what somebody's going to pay for them.
True. Well, let me tell you right now, on eBay, you can get yourself a Score Jose Canseco Dream Team for $75. Fuck. I also...
Another thing slides through my fingers.
I had a connection to that card as well. Over at the Northern Lights flea market, there was a card guy there, and if you spend enough with him, you got a spin of the wheel. And I won the jackpot, which was the full fucking Dream Team. I had like a full fucking 28 card
Kirby
set.
Puckett.
All of the baseball players in black and white, shirts off.
Some of them didn't do shirtless. Jose Canseco's just looked like a Playgirl centerfold.
It was.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It is a good card. I would like...
Ricky Henderson had his shirt off.
I love
looking
Ricky
swole.
Henderson.
Yeah, I won the whole set. And that was one of those things that disappeared because I think my dad sold it because it was worth money.
Yeah, well, that
was when I asked my dad for it, and it was gone, and then he said he had to sell it, and I was like, oh man,
damn it,
I wanted those cards.
The Dream Team
Dream Team. I could have had him. Dude, Ken Griffey was in there. He was also looking like a yoga model and shit. It was a very sexy set of cards.
Yeah. So I guess I didn't even know we were going to talk about that. It was a fucking really good time.
Well,
and let me know, Brett invited me to a flea market, actually, on Facebook today. And I was like, I looked at it, and I was like, one, this is going to be early in the morning, so I'm probably out. But my wife, I could see going with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like, it was really, really, really tempting for me to go to the flea market or the world's largest garage sale or yard sale or whatever it was. And it was just like, I do want to go to those things, but I just...
Well, you know what? I guess we were just freestyling tonight. But it is relevant to me because when you talk about Funko Pops, like, I was definitely instrumental in bringing all that in.
I know.
Like, when I was a kid, there was not a lot of nerdy memorabilia, and the stuff that it was around was collector's items that was out of my reach. And then I did get into a lot of the designer vinyl and supporting like graffiti artists and, you know,
I'll tell you
Japanese stuff. People, Luke Chu, Secret Base, Suck Lord, like all of those early Kid Robot. Kid Robot really was like a beginning of a lot of that. Which it was, I feel like, highlighting different artists, and it did bring a more flavor. It felt more hip hop in a way, that there was this scene.
The ones you have are cool.
And the people that, like, I would go to openings for artists that would come to town and stuff. Columbus was very lucky to have a gallery that displayed artists like that. And you would meet like a lot of very interesting, neat, like countercultural people. And then it all just got distilled down to the point of slapping like the same, just slapping licensed characters and pop culture stuff onto the same model, and it like took everything away from it. You know?
Yeah.
Because even like the designer vinyl movement of that time was about like creating your own characters, even like Cause, and a lot of the artists then were making their own Disney type characters. Andrew Bell he worked for SpongeBob, and then he created his own universe of characters. So like you were buying art and supporting people that were creating their own universe. You weren't buying into Disney. These aren't Disney licensed characters or people or anything. And now it's just been, I don't know, it's just fallen away from all the excitement and the big swell of money and support all just went towards like Firefly fucking Funko Pops.
Yeah, or Stranger Things, or I saw a Ronald Reagan one today.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was something when we first started hanging out and doing the other show. I remember I don't remember how we got onto it, but you did tell me you collect toys. And I think it was the way you described it. You were like, like the designer vinyl stuff. And I was like, I don't know. I've never seen anything like it. But they're
toys.
neat looking, though.
Yeah, I haven't had them in forever. I had sold it all to move to Dallas.
There's one behind you, right?
Which one?
I thought there's one in the office.
I made that. Those are the ones I made.
You made one?
Yeah, this is mine.
Oh, wow. That is fucking cool. I saw that and I was like, that thing is, how'd you make it? You just drew on it?
Yeah, I just used like ink.
When did you do that?
Like 10 years ago.
You should
I never
do more.
finished it. This is indicative. This is like my cognitive dysfunction. I did the head and then just couldn't. And like one night, I probably stayed up for like 24 hours straight and drew all over this head, and then couldn't bring myself to finish the body.
God, man, I love it. Well, they're cool though. I'm into it. So I guess we're gonna do this for 1 minute. I'm probably gonna set a timer for this. And last night was disappointing, but we're still in the race.
Mm-hmm.
And don't give up. I guess is what I'm saying. That's it.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to take this opportunity to be selfish and say that finally my vote in Ohio matters. So
That's
this
true.
finally it feels important to me.
I mean, if you canvass this Saturday, you're like you're doing something like actually important,
Right.
You know.
Well, here's why I'm grumpy all the time, and here's why I'm not just like all on board to be a fucking Democrat right now, is because for all my life, every time that we had the opportunity to vote for a candidate, they were like, oh, you're in Ohio, it doesn't matter anyways.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best way to make me feel disenfranchised.
Until the other thing.
Sure.
But then it's like, well.
But I don't want fucking people in California. I don't care what Super Tuesday thinks. I want to be able to my say. Like,
I agree.
I think we should do it all at the same fucking time.
I don't think that some places
primary
should be more important than others, but
it just, the message they've told me my entire life is Ohio doesn't matter. Even like if you're the smartest Democrat in Columbus, you're running around and saying we don't want people in Ohio to decide anyways. They're all foolish rapscallions.
That's true.
Like the most politically engaged people in Ohio are saying like, oh, fucking Ohio doesn't matter anyways.
Yeah.
So why am I interested in pulling the lever for anybody?
Yeah.
I'll let California and New York decide,
Well, I mean, it's wild that we're in it still.
So now
and me and Brett, I want to say this because like in 2016, we went through 2016 and we're both very, like a lot of people, I don't know, there felt like a lot of possibility and it got squashed. But I'm here to tell you, I remember last year, or I remember 2016 pretty vividly. And, our vote didn't matter. It was already decided by the time it got to Ohio. So anybody that thinks we're like out of this thing, we're still very much in it,
Yeah. Well, that was the reason I didn't want to get revved up about it again, because it's like by the time it comes to me, what's going to happen? And, the results last night, people were being, pessimistic about
Doom and
it.
gloom. I was. But I do think I think that the thing that I was more depressed about was them all lining up behind this guy to beat us.
That's what I'm that's what I'm shutting down. That's what I've decided. I was talking with Drew Toothpaste from Garbage Brain University podcast today about it, and I was saying that I can be wholeheartedly behind empathy and besides helping everybody and behind Bernie Sanders. I think what makes me want to crawl into a hole is when I see the people that are out loud and proud for somebody like Joe Biden. Not even out loud and proud. I'm sorry. Willing to pull the lever for somebody like Joe Biden. That's what I've been saying is those people just are insignificant to me at this point. Like those people I cannot acknowledge or think about why they came to where they did. They're just my enemy. They're just wrong, and there's no reason to feel disheartened to know that they're your coworkers, and they're like they're people you go to school with, like the moms and dads there. Like those people are going to do like an Elizabeth Warren protest vote on March 17th. And I think that's where I get into despair. That's why I'm like just staying away from that. So
Yeah.
I'll try to push the Bernie thing.
I mean, yeah, I can't wait to hear your canvassing experience, because I really think you're going to be way better than I was.
I think I can.
For
Yeah,
sure.
I'm ready to do
Because
it.
you're willing to. You will talk to somebody. You will talk to fucking anybody. I mean, that's the thing about you, right? That's different from me is like, I one-on-one, not a very engaging guy, unless, of course, when I'm doing our live shows and I'm Murder Brian and I'm standing outside and talking to people that came to my show, I'm sure I'm pretty engaging to those people. But if you are, let's just say you're somebody that's at the grocery store and you're standing in the aisle next to me and you say something like, oof, that's a lot of cereal choices, I will probably just go, "Ugh," and fucking look down and walk away, because I can't. I feel so fucking weird around strangers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's very hard for me. I don't know why. I don't know why I can't be comfortable around strangers. It feels like I have every single one of the requirements to feel comfortable socially, except for this. I can't jump that one. I can't make that one leap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know what it is. You just you want to have, you just want to know that you have, I guess you want to engage people that you feel like will do it honestly with you, or aren't going to I don't know. Is that what it is? Is it something in that? Is it something in that realm?
One part of it.
You don't want to go on your thing and have it be to like a Trump person that isn't going to give a shit about you anyways, or like you're never going to get along with in the first place.
Well, I don't like being uncomfortable. You know what I mean? And it's odd because I came up with Shock Jocks, and there are bits that I would love to do on this show. I'm going to give you an example here, okay? Somebody made a suggestion to me a few months ago to book a show at the Hideout and get Felix to come there with me and get a few other guests, and then say we are giving Mancow a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Okay.
To get him to come to the venue,
Probably
because he would probably pick it up and then just make fun of him. And they were like, it's not really bullying because, like, he's an asshole. And I was like, I would feel fucking terrible. I don't want to stand face to face to Mancow ever. Like, I almost feel bad for the things I've said about Mancow at times. Obviously, most of the time it's like, he's an asshole, fuck him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, like, there are times where it's like, what if he heard what we said about him? And he's a real guy.
No, I understand that.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of humanity that comes through. There's times that, I mean, even a lot of the popular way to get ahead with social media and online is to attack and go after people. And I don't have as much of a stomach for it to just be.
It just scares me. It's weird.
Someone to be like, this is an example of a complete asshole.
But there are people who thrive under social discomfort.
Yeah,
I guess.
for sure.
And like those people, I always looked at them as like,
I mean, I can ride the wave.
Like, hey, if you can do it. Or Stuttering John. That's another famous one. It's like that guy would fucking go sit next to like some dude and ask him how big his hog is. Like Kirk Douglas, and ask him how big his hog is. I could never do it, because then as soon as I said, how big is your hog? Like my whole body would feel this feeling, And like that's what canvassing really was about. Was for me, the thing that freaked me out was like every time I knocked on that door and I heard the person coming to the door, I was like, what if this guy is like a fucking Joe Biden guy?
Yeah.
And he don't want to hear shit about Bernie Sanders or anything like that, but he also wants to have an argument, right?
Sure,
like me and him go back and forth, tete-a-tete or whatever that is, where you go back and forth on your stuff. And I was like, I mean, when somebody disagrees with me, I immediately get uncomfortable. Every
You think you're
time.
wrong. You start doubting yourself.
I do. I've said this. That is my low self-esteem. That my low self-esteem shows up in a lot of ways, but it really shows up when I'm arguing with somebody, because I generally just give it to them. Like I think I'm right, but then like as soon as they disagree with me and there's a second of resistance, I feel wrong. I feel like I was wrong and they were right, and they've thought more than me. And like, you know, in my mind, I've never won an argument.
Yeah.
I can be blustery and be like, oh yeah, you know, but in my mind, I've never won an argument. And I think that kind of stuff weighs on me when I'm dealing with other people too, where I'm nervous.
Yeah. I imagine everybody is ants. Like just smaller people. I mean, to be real about it though, I think that I know people that cross the line and that really do make shit uncomfortable, and that your average person is super subdued. Like you're not going to get the most out of anybody unless you really push them.
I know.
And then going and knocking on their door and trying to start the conversation is going to be nothing. It's not going to be enough to get them to like really go off. But I also really, what helps me is that everybody, you, me included, 6-year-olds, we're all just little babies, and we are going to have the same type of reactions that we did when we were that age. We have a way more developed way of doing it, but somebody that's going to rant or rave or have their little fit, that's them. That's really, that's not me or how I said my argument. That's just rolling the dice. You're going to like deal with people that are mad, or people that don't make any sense, or people that get flustered, or people just as confused as you. Yeah, I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing
I also don't like, I mean, I'm also okay with letting somebody have their thing.
Yeah.
I guess I don't get self-conscious where it's like, I think Joe Biden's the best. You're wrong about Bernie Sanders. And I'm like, well, Bernie Sanders is doing this kind of a campaign. It's important to me because it would affect my life. You know, I pay $900 a month for health insurance. I'd rather pay 1% more on my taxes.
Yeah.
Something like that. And they say, you know, he's not electable. There's just no way we're going to have him. Trump needs to go against somebody serious, blah, blah, blah. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Like I'm not worried about winning everybody over. I think it's a matter at this point of just getting the right people to the polls. I read somebody speculating about how there's a lot of people that got riled up that said they were going to go, and then just, you know, life got in the way and weren't able to make it. Or, you know, of course the government put as many blockades in the way as they could.
Oh, yeah. Well, one of the things I also think too, and I think this is why I know that my fears are bullshit, is that like people love to be asked about their politics.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, everybody loves to have somebody say, hey man,
I mean,
how about your politics there, brother? And
how are you at, I mean, I guess, how are you at lying? Are you a good liar? Have you ever been a good liar? Do you consider yourself a good liar?
I don't know.
I
do think,
like,
that
can you lie
can
to somebody's face and get away with it?
I mean, I guess I probably could. I don't really anymore. I did it when I worked, and I thought I was pretty good at it there.
I just think that, like, even in the emergency, what I would say is, like, God damn it, man. I just, you know, I came out here for Bernie Sanders, and I never gave it enough thought, and you just convinced me on Joe Biden. Thank you for your time. I'm out of here.
Oh man, and like that I would just it'd be the best day of that person's life of all time.
That's my bodhisattva nature.
Yeah. So I got a few stories. I know we were sort of winging it there at the beginning, but I did see a few stories that grabbed my mind, I guess. And one is in Miami, where we will be performing next month. I don't know the date right off the top of my head.
Oh yeah, we do have a lot of dates to announce. We need to do that.
We can do that at the end of the show. But so the Miami Herald
moves over Miami.
This is like a week and a half old, because we didn't record last week.
Mhm.
So Miami will hold an anti-communist concert in April in response to Democratic presidential frontrunner Senator Bernie Sanders' defense of Fidel Castro's authoritarian regime in Cuba. This is crazy. I know
Rock
I
Against
mentioned
Communism?
This. Yes, I know I mentioned this. First of all, I know I mentioned this on the Eat the Rich podcast, which we just did an appearance on. That was good. It was a good time. We talked about Les Wexner. That to see people come out against literacy programs was fucking mind-bending to me. Like, this weird thing where, like, if it's communist, it was a bad idea. It's like, I think most of the ideas of communists are actually good ideas, but you guys hate it for no reason, really.
Yeah, I do have to say, Eat the Rich podcast, we made an appearance on there. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the show. I listened back to it, and I'm going to keep subscribed to it. But I think what you said on there was you listened to Air America as a young lib.
I did.
You were into the talk radio liberal stuff, and
Majority Report with Janine Garofalo and Sam Cedar, Randy Rhodes. I listened to Stephanie Miller for a while, and I loved Al Franken.
And they were insistent that the Democratic Party was the one that reads.
They were the party of intellectualism.
Sure.
And
George
this
Bush.
was against George W. Bush.
Yes.
So it was sort of like, we got to vote for Kerry. I mean, look at him. He's a big intellectual.
He's got a fucking den full of books.
Yeah.
And so now the literacy program of Fidel Castro has become a huge problem.
And here's the thing. This video of, he said this on 60 Minutes recently, which, again, a literacy you can, even in things that I don't like, I can find things that are positive in that. And when we're talking about governments, I mean, yes, there's stuff you don't like because fucking governments suck. But Cuba didn't sound like as miserable as we were led to believe, you know? And a literacy program is, I mean, I guess they were saying it's because they teach them to read communist propaganda, but it's like, the fuck do they teach us to read?
The first book my daughter read in kindergarten was probably like, "This is my flag. I die for my flag. Anybody that crip walks on the flag is an enemy of America."
They have a fucking, I mean, when my daughter started school in, I think 2009, I believe. I'm probably wrong about it. Yeah, I think it was 2009 or 8. One of the two. I don't know. But when she started school, there was like so many 9/11 books in the library.
Oh.
Just 9/11 after 9/11. Kids' books about 9/11 with pictures of the fucking towers on them.
Dude, I sent you, I sent the pic, I just posted on Twitter and Instagram, and I sent them to you, but I went to the book fair at my daughter's school, and there was a fucking conservative section. It was like military dogs and like the fight for freedom, America at Alamo. It was just all propaganda to the 10th degree.
Was it? Yeah, it's wild. So there were conservative books there?
No, it wasn't. I mean, there was just war books. There was just this very weird section that had things about like a pit bull that went to Afghanistan and how brave it was. There was, chapter books with like guys with super long beards that were like, what I learned overseas and shit like that. There was a lot of weird propaganda books.
Yeah, it is.
They were separate from the Descendants. They weren't near the Peanut Butter and Jelly. They were this very small section of like just troop worshiping households. I feel like you would just be drawn to that.
You need to have them.
Yeah, something
Well,
wholesome. Something
it's not
about
even
like killing for the right reason.
Something. I mean, I bet you they also see it as a way to learn about America that is apolitical. That's like everybody agrees that the troops are great.
Yeah,
and you just want to be like,
I'll learn American history from a guy that signed up to get college education in the military.
So, Rock Against... So, what I wanted to talk about, or what I wanted to mention on this, and this Rock Against Communism, where if me and Brett were still in Miami that day, I would go to this.
Yeah, I got to. I got to Rock Against Communism.
But
I don't know what that's about.
Rock Against Communism, if you Google it, I'm just gonna look this up. Rock Against Communism. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at this. Rock Against Communism was the name of white power rock concerts in the United Kingdom in the late 1970s and early 80s, and has since become the catch-all term for music with racist lyrics. The lyrics usually focus on racism and anti-Semitism, though this depends on the band. They named their concert. They didn't Google the name Rock Against Communism. They just named a concert Rock Against Communism.
I mean, they had the same hunch as a bunch of, white supremacists did.
Perfect. That is the government in a nutshell. Most of their hunches do end up reinforcing white supremacy.
Yeah, like that's the way to do it.
So
what if we excluded all minorities and created a pure America? That would be better than communism, right? Instead of handing out all this shit. Yeah, I don't know. Like that's the thing with the Joe Biden issue is more and more people I think are coming to understand that it's either like look out for each other or else like the fascists are going to take over. Like Donald Trump showed what's coming next from them, like it's going to be more of that. They're pretty jazzed in what they're doing right now. They're fucking excited.
Yep. For sure. Yeah.
They're stronger than ever. Like they're very comfortable where they're at.
Yeah.
And they're going to keep moving forward with it while the fucking Democrats, fall apart.
I mean, Sleepy Joe. All we're going to hear is Sleepy Joe all summer. He's going to get fucking demolished, I think. So me and Brett a couple weeks ago, and I only got 2 of them right now. I don't know if we have more from Brett. Might have a few more.
Oh.
We solicited signs in people's workplaces.
Signs everywhere. Signs.
The Tesla version. He's singing the Tesla version.
Don't you read the signs?
So we're going to read a couple signs, and then we're going to look into the 10 tips to motivate employees without resorting to money.
Wow.
Resorting to money.
Resorting.
You don't want to
last resort
to money.
Yeah. Don't open your safe. You take all your money, you put it in the safe, and you deal with that employee without ever going to that safe.
So the first one I have that is a sign from work, it starts in big point font. For those who don't care or don't know, this is in Times New Roman too. It's very professional. It has been brought to my attention from the other managers in this building that JJ employees are getting stoned while working. Weed might be legal. Do it on your own time. It is not allowed in the JJ workplace. If you're a driver, it's against the law. If you get in an accident, you will get a DUI and the store could be sued. From this point on, 22520, smoking weed will get you terminated.
Bullshit. It's legal, dog.
It is. I mean, that one is aggressive.
That's my medicine. That's my medicine. That's how I do my JJ work.
I can agree that one is aggro and crazy. You know what I mean?
Well, no, I mean not really. They don't want you ever having fun on the job.
No, that's true. But I mean, I'm saying my thing about it is always the way they're worded. You know what I mean? And that one does have all the aggro kind of words. You know what I mean? They called it smoking weed.
Yeah.
Which is a very, I don't know. I mean, if you're the boss and you're doing some official shit, be like, hey, why can't they just fucking
You want them to say use
everybody?
Cannabis?
Yeah, or why can't they just sit down?
Imbibe cannabis.
Why can't they just sit down and say, hey, can you guys not get high at work? But anyway, they're going to get high at work. I mean, big deal.
I feel like, once again, the disconnect that we have with management is that are the JJ subs getting delivered?
True.
How many complaints? How many stars? How effective are we doing our job? I don't need you to tell me how I'm getting it done. I'm here to get JJ subs to people. I'm going to ride my bike in whatever fucking state I want to be in.
You know what? That's a great point. That is a perfect point. Are the metrics down?
Right.
At all? And when they quit smoking the weed, which they're not going to.
You're just controlling people.
Yeah,
you're just going
yeah.
beyond just saying you can't do the job this way. And it's like, but I'm not hired. You're not hiring me for what's inside of my lungs.
Yes. Yeah.
You're hiring me to fuck for fucking JJ subs.
I agree with you. I do think that it, like, so when I worked at McDonald's, they did make a big deal about how, oh, it's unsafe. There's too many unsafe things back there. But they have kind of basically at most service industry jobs, they have made it like the maximum amount of safe that it could ever be in order to not give you autonomy and not to have...
Weed makes you afraid of everything.
Right.
Weed makes you very cautious about that kind of stuff. I'm not going to get near that goddamn grill. It's fucking freaking me out right now. I'm going to respect the shit out of that, whatever the hot stuff is. So the toaster, anything plugged into the wall.
At McDonald's, they talked about how, it's pretty dangerous back here. And the example they always gave was the grill, where you grill the burgers, right?
Uh-huh.
But that thing is just a flat top. All it is a flat top. And it has these two things. You just pull them down.
Handles?
And two handles like door things. They're like these big...
It's like a giant panini press?
Yes. You pull it down. You stand there, it pops back up. You take the burgers off with a spatula.
Great.
I can do that high.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that, to me, I would be fucking great at that high.
Yeah, it makes you focus a lot. It's a lot easier to focus on 90 seconds at a time when you're...
But they would be like, it's so unsafe, You're by this hot grill, and it's like, dude, I cook high all the time.
Yeah. So, it's just extra controlling.
Agreed.
So we had this one. This is from... I don't know what it's from. It's from a...
No, we should...
I don't. It's a shipping service that is not unionized.
Okay.
And so what happened was the person that sent us this sign said they started talking to people about union stuff out in the parking lot.
I love Street Fight listener. I love you so much. You're the worst employees in the world.
Salt of the earth. The salt in the literal way.
I like that we've cultivated the nightmare employee audience.
This is written on a whiteboard. I'm going to put it up for the live streamers. It's written on a whiteboard, and some of these words are double and triple underlined. So it says, drivers, at the end of the day, drop off paperwork and exit building immediately. What? Double underscore, what? Immediately. A few drivers, the same ones, are blocking dispatch with idle talk, causing problems enough that cameras are being installed. Go home.
That is fucking... look.
That was my best. That was doing my best Alexander from Minion Death Cult for that reading on that one.
Can I say this too? I thought we were all family at work. You want me hanging out when I'm off?
What do you mean? Are you talking? You don't know what an Ohio goodbye is? Everyone says goodbye, and then we go stand out by the cars for another 25 minutes and tell the same story we always tell when we're out there by the cars.
I did that.
Yeah.
I loved it. I didn't.
Why
mind
not?
That. But a lot of people think you run out and get out of work as soon as you can. But a lot of people that work with a nice crew,
I'm engaged.
I'll hang.
I'm engaged.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? Go home to home life?
Yeah.
It's all. I know what I'm getting when I go there. I got to do chores.
I gotta cook dinner.
Put a fucking kid to bed.
This guy's
clean my underwear.
Yeah, this guy's doing all this interesting union talk back at work.
Yeah.
I'm into that.
Yeah.
That is so funny. It's so funny that the union talk is, they were like, go home.
Yeah, they're like, get out of here. You clocked out. Get the fuck out then.
Have you ever heard of a job saying you go home, don't stay here?
Just real big letters. You clock out. Get the fuck out.
Yeah. I've never heard of a company.
No, they do want people to be best buddies.
Yeah.
They want to be like, I want to be at your wedding. It's like, Not when we get the union started. We're going to be on other sides. I'm going to file a grievance against you immediately for saying that.
Here's one I have. I don't know what this company is, but Team. Use of your smartwatches, texting or talking on your smartwatch, phones in hand or pockets on the floor, etc. are unacceptable.
Okay.
So you're not allowed to have your phone in your hand. I guess you're not allowed to have it in your pocket on the floor.
Yeah.
This is probably like a warehouse.
Yeah.
Right? I explained to each and every one of you. So this is perfect. This is exactly what I was looking for. Because saying I explained to each and every one of you that this is the policy during your interview and orientation process. This is beautiful.
What?
This is pure.
What? No smart watches?
Yeah, that's the fucking thing with me.
I like them now.
I don't have one.
I don't either, but I'm into them now. If I realize people can like not work and use one of those instead.
It's true. Like they can't tell you to take your fucking watch off,
right?
Unless you're like working on like a lathe or something
right.
like that. You know. The second you are through those gates, whether you are clocked in or not, your phone needs to be put away until you are in the team room.
Gates, though, is like, woof. Gates are like, they lock those behind you.
You know, that's the thing about Walmart now, too, is like you walk in and there's gates behind you. You can't turn around and walk out. Like, shit, man.
Captured.
This is how they make prison and airports.
Yeah.
So big capital letters, no exceptions. If you're expecting an important call and it's an emergency, you may have them call the center. Oh, yeah, I'm going to do that.
They call your name over the loudspeaker.
Otherwise, you need to use it on your breaks or off the clock and not on the floor. And then it's signed, Emily. And then underneath it in capital letters, it says, you need to initial this and let me know that you've read it. That's an odd one. I've never seen them making people initial.
Hey, I just want to initial that.
That one had everything.
Yeah, that's a lot
for a work sign because it had you were informed of this.
Yeah.
In interview and orientation, that's what I'm looking for.
They're cramming their entire problem onto one piece of paper.
What they did is they had a conversation with somebody that saw somebody with a phone that's higher up than them, and they just condensed. They thought about it all night, right? I tell them in the interview, and I tell them at orientation. You know? Stop looking at your smartwatch. It's like, fucking dude, it's a watch. If I wore one with time, would you say stop checking the time on my watch?
Yeah. What if I got one of those like Mickey Mouse ones where it looked really funny when his arms were all like akimbo?
Oh, I see you're enjoying Mickey Mouse's arms. I think you're out of here. But or one of those ones that like you get to see a woman's shirt come off as it's going around. It's like, I see you're enjoying that watch.
I was just staring at this watch I was staring at, you get written up and all it says is, Brian was staring at a pen where a woman's bikini was slowly removed for over an hour.
You know, I do like that. Maybe it is a good thing to say, like, maybe smartwatches are the wave of the future.
Yes, yeah. You can get a lot done. You can get a lot of time theft done on a smartwatch, I'm thinking.
Never even consider. I don't want one because I don't have to do time theft. But I'll bet you if I was working a real job for a living.
Makes sense.
It would be nice to just have it all the time so that like when somebody's talking to you, you can be like...
This is once again, it's like you pay me X amount of dollars to get a job done. In order to get this job done, I need a little bit of drink of my social media. I just got to take a swig. I just got to like check. I'm just like so tired of filling orders for the last half hour. I need to look at something that is positive on my phone for just a wee bit. But
I need to check the TL, man.
See, it's not like we're not talking about like a fucking plane crashed or a train derailed and it was because one guy was looking on his phone. They're talking about controlling every minute that we spend there in the way that we get our jobs done, which is not relevant.
It isn't. And you're right. Like it wasn't an accident that happened with a phone. And because my boss at the camera store used to get pissed off at me when he saw me looking at my phone when there was nothing to do. Even if I was like changing songs or something like that. And it was just like, it'll fucking be done before I leave, okay? Like, the way that place worked is you had to clear all your work before you left. Well, guess what? I fucking did it all, and I looked at my phone a bunch of fucking times.
Yeah.
Who cares? Why do you care so much? I mean, I guess, like...
And I'm a boss man myself. I look at my phone. That's how I get boss man shit done. I have to take a little drink of social media every now and then.
I'll tell you what, too. There's two things about this one that also are infuriating. Is the watch was brought up, right? Because a manager that was just above Emily walked through, and they saw one person on their watch texting, and then they went and tore Emily a new asshole for seeing that, and then now everybody has to be mad. I fucking hate this, anything up from I don't like your manager, first of all. Like, all your managers, I don't like them. But anything above them, I fucking hate every single one of them. They're all the worst humans in the
it's
world.
all making up. It's all making things up. It's all creating drama. It feels like, they pointed out that someone did bad behavior and they get credit for that,
Exactly.
That's what a lot of it comes down to, was, people coming in and saying, like, we'd save 30 seconds per order if people weren't checking their phone. It's like, we're not constantly checking our phones.
Yeah.
I don't expect to stand around here for 45 minutes and play a game on my phone and you not say something to me.
Yes,
you know?
Yes, absolutely. Well,
But-
there's a boss at my wife's work, right? So she works at this building downtown, and the bottom floor of the building is where the VP is, okay? Big guy, in charge of all the stuff in the building, whatever. And it has a window out onto the street. And sometimes I will go and I will visit her and say hi to her, because I'm already out walking. I'm already in the neighborhood. She can come outside and we can, chat and hug or whatever and take off. And
chat and hug.
Yes. And there's like a garden, and there's a kind of raised wall that goes almost all the way around the building that you can sit on. You know what I mean? What does it hurt to sit on
wall.
stone?
Sitting wall.
I mean, and if you even sit on it for 1 minute to tie your shoes, security runs out and tells you the VP can see you, and he hates it when people sit on the wall.
What?
Yeah, this is downtown in public. It's like he controls this wall because he can see out of his window, and then he might see somebody sitting on the wall, and it infuriates him. So now there's a person whose whole job it is to run out and tell people, don't make this fucking one guy mad, because he gets mad when people sit on the wall.
That's outrageous.
It's crazy.
I can imagine. Man, that's a lot of power.
It's downtown.
You have a sign in front of your window that you can have hired security clear off for you?
No, there's nothing. There's no sign. There's nothing that says don't sit on the wall.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
But
It's
you got
just
guards
this guy-
working for you.
Yeah, you got a guard that'll just come outside and tell you not to sit on the wall because he hates seeing people sitting on the wall. That is what the guard said to me. And it was just like, you can't fucking control the wall. Hey, this isn't your fucking house, dude.
Yeah.
This is a building, and this wall's in public space. Cut it out. That is
perfect.
what happens when you give somebody that fucking 5th level up management thing. They're fucking assholes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
With irrational, like if I had irrational things, I would know that, and I would try to control that as a person, right? Like, so, yeah, if I sat at a desk all day and there was a window and people were sitting on a wall and I hated it, I would realize that's on me.
Yeah,
That's my
you just
fucking
turn my
problem.
desk a different way. Or be like, maybe you should give the high rise life. Maybe I should get like a top suite or something.
Yeah, maybe move up so you can't see them. Well, I don't even get why it makes them so mad.
Yeah, I also agree. I feel like most things are on me. Like, if this thing is bothering me, how about I just get away from it?
Yes!
As quickly as possible.
Hey, you're the fucking guy in charge. You can get any office you want. Don't have one that looks outside. Because you know what? People are out there and they will sit on a wall. If there's a wall, they will sit on it. And that should be totally fine. You know? It's one of the few walls in town that doesn't have hostile architecture. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
spikes. So before we get out of here...
I got an all-timer for you.
Okay.
Oh, man, I just lost it. I had it pulled up before. This one is not an original, but it's a classic, and I think you're going to know. You're going to know it as soon as you hear it. This is something that shows up at your workplace from a cheeky boss that is trying to be funny, and they put this up usually near the restroom, and the title of this poem is "That's Not My Job." And it goes, this is a story about 4 people named Everybody, Somebody, Anybody, and Nobody. There was an important job to be done, and everybody was sure that somebody would do it. Anybody could have done it, but nobody did it. Somebody got angry about that because it was everybody's job. Everybody thought anybody could do it, but nobody realized that everybody wouldn't do it.
Fuck off!
It ended up that everybody blamed somebody when nobody did what anybody could have done.
Oh my god.
That's a good one.
I
Put that in a
fucking-
frame.
Nothing makes me madder than cutesy. Oh, fuck you, dude.
This is the boss. When it says everybody was sure that somebody would do it, it means the boss made up something that they believe everybody should do, but they never told them about it.
Yeah.
They feel like intrinsically we should all know to like take a toothbrush to this fucking grout, you know?
You know what? If this thing is in your face and it's bothering you, fucking do
Just do it.
something
Yeah,
about
take
it.
care of it. No one else here gives a shit.
You made a fucking whole memo to hang on the wall
Yeah.
instead of just doing it.
Yeah.
You know, I do hate that shit about like
I
where
was
they
too-
expect you to have known to do something.
I'm the manager. I'm too busy finding things to manage about you. I couldn't take a break from managing everything that you do.
I was gonna clean it up, but I had to make this memo and hang it up.
Yeah, I had to go look at you do your job and tell you it was wrong.
Yeah. So Brett sent me this week from LinkedIn, and it is written by John Rampton, entrepreneur.
Great name, great name.
He's an entrepreneur, is his job, which is funny. Are you looking for ways to motivate your people? If so, you need to start looking beyond monetary incentives. No, you don't. The reason? Employees aren't motivated by money. Lie. I've never heard an employee say I'm not motivated. What is this fucking delusion that these people have that people like just love going to work and that the money is kind of like a secondary thing?
Or that you could create an environment where they're like, yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool to hang out here. I would not take a paycheck. I just like hanging out here with everybody. It's so neat. Like when I show up, Susie, you're there like every day, right there. You're sitting behind your computer. I love it. This is a great place to be. I look over there. It's Josh doing his thing. I just love to hang out here. This is my favorite place to be.
Fucking love it, man.
It's
I
exciting.
would come here if it wasn't for money. To tell you the
Absolutely.
truth.
Yeah. I would, watch Netflix on my double monitor over here, for all the time.
So, instead, they're motivated by intrinsic motivators like being recognized for their hard work, flexible work time, growth, and advancement. Now, let me say one thing about this. My wife recently won like an employee of the quarter thing or whatever. And there was a recognition dinner or lunch. She had to go to this recognition. There have been dinners, but she won't go.
Sure.
They're like, bring a date, bring your husband. Let's go to this dinner at Buca de Beppo. And I'm like, I don't want to go there. And she doesn't want to either. So they had a meeting and I was like, you like get anything? And she was like, pizza. And I was like, oh, fuck that. You know what I mean? That's not like a prize, you know? And she was like, well, I also think that part of the bonus to it is that you get FaceTime with some of the higher ups.
Oh, great.
I was like, none of these are things that anybody wants. Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
You know? And so
it's funny that, like, the thing that you mentioned there, you said flexibility, right?
Mm-hmm.
On time. That just means doing less for the same amount of money.
Yeah.
That means you just want to be able to go home and pretend like you're working while you're also watching Love is Blind on Netflix.
Flexible work time is kind of...
That's
Yeah. They don't do that anyway. They never do that.
Here's the thing. Working from home, you fuck yourself over because you work twice as long as you would at the office. But at the same time, you can like also get some like casual sex in and do a nap and other like fuck shit. Like it is way easier to play around.
Eat an edible.
Yeah, you can eat an edible and also answer
Maybe
email.
Drink a beer.
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
What was the other?
Take a nap.
What were the other ones? I'm sorry. Because the other one was also about money that they said was
growth and advancement.
That's also money.
Yeah.
Because the only reason you would ever want to advance is because you get more money when you advance. That's why people do that.
Yes. Absolutely. Nobody advances nobody likes a lateral move.
No one wants to laterally move.
No. Nobody likes a lateral move unless it means less work, and a lateral move never means less work. It always means more work.
It means
same money.
It means basically you're standing out by the garage and you're like, I mean, technically it's a lateral move, but it puts me in the position to advance.
Yeah.
Later on.
Which it doesn't either.
But it could.
It could.
But the motivations once again come down to money.
Yes.
The motivations always come down to I need more money.
So number 1 in the top 10 tips here is autonomy, mastery, and purpose. I'm going to read this first. Autonomy. People want to have control over their own work. Instead of being a helicopter boss, give your employees the chance to make decisions. For example, if you have weekly meetings, at least have your team decide the topic or select the snacks that will be present.
No, I mean, like, don't tell me I can't smoke weed, motherfucker. I mean, like, don't put up a sign that... Let them pick the snacks?
They said let them... You know who else lets you do that? Kindergarten teachers.
That's true. That's true.
Let the kids pick the snacks.
Wait, so somebody's like, you know what? I don't really need a raise as long as we can have some of those Gardetto mix.
Jesus.
What's that thing called?
Gardetto mix?
Gardetto, like rye chips. Like I want a bag of rye chips. I would forego a raise as long as they had some fucking sesame sticks at the company meetup.
They get to pick the food for my wife's work, but you got to pay for it. Like the snacks, there's like a little box by it. You got to pay money to get the snacks. So it's like, okay. Mastery. Everyone wants to get better at what they do. That's
true.
Overstatement.
I think it's true.
Not at work.
I think that people are good at what they do and are like, the problem with work is that we really like do a lot more than we're appreciated for.
Yeah.
Like these people are trying to manage us when all they could do was like say, wow, you really helped this business out a lot. Here's more money.
Yeah. But again, it's money though. Everyone wants to get better at what they do. Provide opportunities to show your employees how they've progressed. Give constructive feedback. Provide performance metrics and create individual development plans.
I love
metrics.
I just love when my boss comes to me and they just lay a folder on their table and they're like, Brett, we've got a development plan for you. I just fucking go ape shit, dude. I'm like digging my nails into the chair because I don't want to show how excited I am, but I just love to be developed by my employer.
Honey,
you know?
Get the champagne on ice. I've been given constructive feedback and provided some performance metrics. It's
happening. It's happening. It's finally happening for us. We never thought it could be us, but finally we're getting metrics. Real metrics too. Not that bullshit feel-good metrics. The kind that tells you you're not going to get a raise this time around. the hard-cut raw shit.
Purpose. People want to be part of something that's bigger than themselves. This is true. Show how their work has benefited the business. You can't. And more importantly, I say you can't because a lot of times these things are so big. It's
once again, I want to be something bigger than myself, like Disney, where like I get enough money. Like I want to be bigger. I want to be a part of the biggest money maker that there is so I can get a part of that. That's what we're all looking for.
I like this one too. And more importantly, show how their work has aligned with their values. No. 2, offer specific and sincere praise.
Okay.
There's no such
That's nice.
thing. There's no such thing as giving too much recognition and praise to your employees. That's true. We like. Do they understand that when they give you the praise, you're like, "Is it gonna make me some more money?"
Yeah.
A simple thank you note or shout out during a meeting should suffice. Keep in mind again, this is all instead of money.
Yeah, this is what they're saying. They're like when they're like, and Brian, whoop whoop, top salesman last month. That's instead of giving you all the extra money that you made for the company.
They throw you a stress ball with the company logo on
Yes.
it.
Extra Red Bulls.
Just make sure
He gets to go to the Red Bull refrigerator anytime he wants for the entire month of March. He's not restricted to 2 a day like the rest of you.
Just make sure you're acknowledging tangible accomplishments. In other words, you need to quantify accomplishments by looking at specific metrics. This
Love
could include
metrics.
sales volume, contracts, bids won, amount of customers retained, or an increase in profitability. You know what I would like with that increase of profitability? More money.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. Number 3, develop a community.
I'm just always like metrics have always come down to the breakdown has always been some of you are going to be on the top and some of you are going to be on the bottom. Like it was like a microcosm of capitalism where like somebody has to win and somebody has to lose. So there would be like 9 of us on the floor and we knew that 3 of us would get like a 5% raise and 3 of us would get a 3% raise and 3 of us would get a 1% raise.
Put on improvement.
But it didn't matter how. It didn't matter. It didn't matter that we made money. It didn't matter that we didn't lose money. It didn't matter that things went well. It was just prescriptive that 3 people had to suffer in order for 3 people to do better.
Yeah. And like a lot of times metrics, I've always felt that metrics are really basically just a cover your ass thing for HR when they fire you.
Yeah,
It's a nice CYA as they call it, you know, in HR biz.
It gives them an opportunity to like to get away from a court.
Yeah,
fucking ruling.
So here's develop a community. By building a sense of community, your employees feel connected to each other and not just the business. Well, online forums can be used, but you can't replace old-fashioned in-person interaction.
Yeah.
Encourage your team to eat lunch together.
Yeah, that's a bonus. I just love love eating with my coworkers. Love all these people that I've been forced to be around all goddamn day just because I want money. I can't wait to hear their idle talk when we're off the clock and fucking eating sandwiches.
Play games to give everyone a break. I mean, that's fine. Hold a conference or just throw a party to celebrate reaching a milestone. By developing a community also influences after-hours bonding. That's why you should always invite employees and their families to events like company picnics.
Wait, who else would go?
I don't know. I do not know who else would go to a company picnic.
Back in the day, it was just like the CEO, and they were like, maybe we should let the employees come?
Yeah. I never went to one. I've never been to an employee
I love
picnic.
Company picnics are the best.
I've never been to one. I don't know.
You never go?
No. My wife would never go to a company picnic, first of all. And I don't have a company. Well, I own a company, but there's not enough employees.
You never
really
worked.
You
didn't work for a company picnic company?
I did. Insight had company picnic, but
Dude,
I didn't go.
Even I would eat like 6 cheese sandwiches and drink as much free soda and fucking beer as I could. I love company picnics. I love to go to an amusement park for free. That's how I'm a sucker.
That's not what they did.
I'm a sucker because like if you will let me get into like a water park and you will also give me an enriched white bun that I can put mustard and cheese on, like I'm a happy camper.
Well, the thing about it is they didn't do that. Wasn't what the amusement park I probably would have gone to, because it would be like, oh, here's a way to take the wife and kid to the amusement park. They did it at like a park somewhere.
Like a metro park.
Just grilled those shitty frozen JTM hamburgers and
I got
tossed the ball around, maybe played a softball game. And they're just like, I'm not doing that.
That sounds I mean, maybe it was the 80s when my dad, early 90s.
We went
when
with
my
my
dad.
mom. My stepmom had them at Kings Island, and we would go, and that was always cool. But I never had a job that had that, and I went to a holiday party once. They had a formal dinner at the cable company.
You don't like the shit show, man?
No.
I like to show up for the thing. Like, I'm with you. I think I have the same attitude, but something about me has this intense, like, inquisitive nature where I'm like, I want to see what are these people going to do with this thing.
Well, the formal stuff was cool. Like going to a formal cable guy thing, there was a lot of like really cool outfits.
Yeah.
I wore Jinkos and a black shirt with a chain wallet at the
To
time,
like a
and
fucking Spectrum, like award ceremony or something.
Inside, and yes, I went in there. They give out prizes, and people were like, they fucking give out Xboxes. They give out $500 gift cards. They have an open bar, 2 drinks each, and it's pretty fucking awesome. And I went there and I won a fucking Food Network tea kettle, which Food Network gave to the cable company, and they just gave to me, and I was like, I'm never doing this again. This is not worth it. And I was underdressed because I was going to a concert after it.
Okay.
So like I was very underdressed too.
Yeah, I mean, I have always also agreed, like, whenever they say, hey, we had a great quarter, we bought lunch or candy bars for people, I'm always thinking, like, could I exchange this candy bar in for the 75 cents you paid for it? You know?
Yeah.
Can I get 3 quarters instead?
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Engage your employees in the incentive process. If you aren't sure what will motivate your team, don't be afraid to just ask them. For example, ask them what kinds of rewards they would like to receive through surveys. Money, brainstorming sessions, a suggestion box, or questions during employee reviews.
You're like, hey, you like pull up a chair and turn it backwards, and you're like, I saw a Groupon for axe throwing. I think we should just do it, gang. Right? We'd have a great time just doing an axe throwing outing together.
If you hit your sales goal, we'll go axe throwing.
I'll tell you what, now that I think about it, if we hit our sales goal for March, let's do an axe throwing outing.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great time.
I don't be like, no. I don't want to go.
No, thank you.
Maybe I won't meet my sales goal, so I don't have to.
Yeah, I'm going to accidentally injure your ass.
And it's funny because, like, the incentive is money. That's what it is.
That's what everybody is there for.
If you ask 20 employees
all of our life,
what would incentivize them to work harder, all 20 would say money.
Yeah, the disconnect from the mainstream versus what actually people are living is just becoming further and further. But everyone is doing the only reason we're doing anything is for money.
Yeah, that's the world. Number 5, this one's hilarious. Get to know them as people.
Oh,
nobody.
Insidious. This is like, fuck. Either I could pay them, or I guess I have to learn. I get to know them as people.
I gotta ask them what their favorite band is, and if they watch Prestige TV.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring them into my office and pretend like we're having a moment together, and I'll talk to them about Harry Potter for 35 minutes.
That is dark.
That's
because you
cynical.
should probably fucking know them anyway.
No,
because they're people.
But
that you probably, I would think, have had conversations with in the past.
Well, they did the research, and they're like, either you can pay them or you can trade in your time, and they found out that your time is like worth more than money, right? That's what they're saying.
I mean, I had bosses that, because the questions he says to ask are, what are your hobbies and interests? Do they have any children or pets? When you build a personal relationship with your staff, you can find out what makes them tick. For example, if they don't like working late because they have a dog, then consider allowing employees to bring their dogs to work.
Don't do that.
Never gonna happen.
There should never be dogs at work, and not
like
ever.
Dogs.
Nope.
More important,
they should be outlawed from most society.
No, don't do this. You're gonna get us in trouble.
Well, I'm just saying, like, your dog is your problem. Keep it at your house
or away from me.
Yeah,
is what I always say. I'm like, I love that you love your dog. I don't like any of them.
Yeah, it's not welcome in anybody else's spaces besides your own.
More importantly, when you show genuine interest in them, they'll do their best not to let you down. Which, the questions, okay, what are your hobbies or interests? I remember people would ask me that, and I'd be like, oh, I like heavy metal music and like, you know,
Car
action
crashes.
movies and shit like that.
Guns,
It's just-
people shooting guns at each other.
yeah, people shooting guns at each other. Like, I'm into, like, that kind of stuff. The boss would always be like, okay, freak, and, like, walk away. It's like, the boss doesn't want to know your interests, because when they find out, they always think you're a freak, because everybody thinks that everybody else's interests make them a freak.
Yeah, for sure.
That's just that's human nature. I know I don't like to bring up human nature a lot, but we all think that the things that the other people are interested in are weird.
I mean, and if anything, I do have a boss. I've had bosses that were like, you know, oh, you went to a concert last night? What was that like? I only told them about it because it wasted time.
Yeah.
Like, if they're going to invite me into a conversation about the concerts I went to or like the food I like, I'm only in the back of my mind thinking I'm doing this instead of my job. I would rather do this.
Yeah.
I don't think they're not beating me.
One time had a half-hour conversation with a guy about a U2 concert, because it was at the call center, and I was like, I don't want to go back on those fucking phones.
Yeah, yeah.
And this boss was just telling me the minute details of this U2 concert he went to. I was like, oh man, that's interesting. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what they did?
The Edge?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Bono was up there?
Holy shit.
Did he sing Sunday Bloody Sunday?
Wow.
Oh, yeah, I love
He
that
had
one.
glasses, the big ones, the fly ones. Wow.
Was there like big TVs on stage and stuff?
What was it like when he said couture say? How fucking crazy did the crowd go when he said couture say?
This is a half hour, man, and he was like, "You should probably get back on the phones." And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean,
Sure.
unless you want to tell me about the openers,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Who opened?
Or maybe we don't. Seems like I should be on the phones, but we're having a great time right now.
Me and you just talking about you too, man. I love you too. I've always been a fan.
This conversation feels like a reward that is not monetary.
Number 6, offer flexibility. Offering flexible work schedules allows your employee to maintain a healthy work-life balance.
We love that.
Notice how work is always before life. This is because it allows them to meet family needs, personal obligations, and life responsibilities. Additionally, it lets them avoid commuting to work, reduce stress, and gives them a chance to work when they're most productive. Now, we know that that is not possible for like a huge most people. You know, if you're working at a fast food restaurant, they can't give you flexibility. They will never do that.
Yeah.
I mean, they could hire more people and pay them well, and then you would be able to provide flexibility, but a lot of those places are intentionally understaffed. So,
yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the disconnect, because my wife and me and you and your wife, we do have opportunities to like work from home and all this extra time and the ability to change our schedule. But the vast majority of people are not like that. Like,
No,
we
you can't.
demand so much of everybody else. There's no way that you can put this in practice.
no, you're exactly right. It's impossible. The people that work at Target are never going to get a flexible work schedule. That's why I advocate for like stable work schedules, work schedule stability, because we know that these places, I guess, have to be staffed, but like they will move their times around so much that there's almost no way to organize.
Clopenings still happen. Clopenings are still legal in a lot of states.
I agree. Number 7, stay connected. Frequently keep in touch with your employees.
Don't do that.
Yeah, please.
They hate that every time.
I fucking had a Nextel at the cable company, and I was using it as my cell phone forever. I was one of those like white trash guys that was always on the walkie-talkie out in public. You know what I mean?
A Dairy Queen line at Dairy Queen, just
Yeah.
conversating.
Hey, what's going on? Fucking people. You know what I mean? Always said something bad.
Yeah.
But my boss would sometimes get a hold of me at night and be like, hey, on your job 7 today, did you forget to wrench tight up at the tap? And I'd be like, ask me this tomorrow. I started keeping the phone in my van after that.
Yeah.
And once I got my own phone, I just kept it in the van so I never had to see it. Staying connected with your team allows you to offer training and tips that can improve their work.
Love that. Sometimes right before bed, I'm just like, boss, can I get one last training or tip? I send a text message at like 11:59.
I really do feel like text, the way we run it for the people that work for us, I feel like they could come at any time because we're both bosses and we're both eccentric weirdos and keep strange hours. But I would never send Jake a text at 2 a.m. and expect him to get back with me immediately.
No.
I'm sending that so that the next time he's looking at his text, he sees it and then responds to it. You know what I mean? And I like that process.
I mean, even in the realm of social media where we share everything about ourselves and we have DMs with people that we've never seen or don't know their even legal names and they know more about us, a text is still like a bridge too far. That's like a phone. It's a phone call. A text is a phone call.
Which is wild
because
to
text,
even think about.
Text makes it past all of your notification scrubbers. It makes it past all of like the VPN that shuts down my social media. Text gets through. That's real communication. That's like reaching out and like grabbing somebody's attention.
A boss that texts somebody, probably most of them aren't like us and they expect the answer right away.
Yeah.
You know,
like they see the red receipt and they're like,
and
they're gonna hold you accountable. They'll fucking ride you. They're gonna write you up tomorrow. They're like, he let the red receipt sit for fucking 90 minutes.
Yeah, number 8, provide perks and privileges. Okay. Again, work-life
money. Well, maybe a good perk at work would be if they brought that the cash machine. Remember the cash tornado machine?
Yeah.
That you got inside of that had like a bunch of bills that spun around and you could win money?
Yeah, absolutely. That would be nice, but they're trying to do this without money.
Oh, no money. Okay. So what is the option?
Okay. Just give me a second. I don't know why I'm texting this. I can actually just say it out loud. Jason, we're almost done, but if you gotta like roll, it is pretty late and I understand. There. I just did some bossing right there. Number 8, provide perks and privileges. Let's see what these privileges and perks are. Again, work-life quality is important to employees. When healthy, they will work harder and smarter. That's weird. When healthy.
That sounds
I
feel like a lab rat.
I know. Well, they were talking about on one of the HR sites that I checked for stories. They said, should you be taking your employees' temperature as they walk into work?
Somebody's doing the math. Somebody's like, how many disposable thermometers do we have to pay for to get a temperature every day versus how much we have to pay out?
Yeah, again, work-life. So they're saying when healthy. They were saying this for coronavirus, to be fair, but I feel like it's odd to have your work taking your temperature every day.
Everybody, glad you're here. We're going to jump on the phones. We're going to have a great day. ABC, always be closing. But now we're going to take temperatures. Everybody's going to come around. We have disposable thermometers. And we're going to see if you're infected or not.
Everybody that's between 98 and 99 gets a special bonus
today.
You're
gonna get...
You got 100, you're done.
Yeah,
you're in trouble.
We're not going to send you home. We're not going to say you can't write your own paycheck today. But all of you that have over a 100-degree reading on your temperature, we have a separate room. We set aside the conference room. The Napoleon conference room is now set aside for anybody with a 99-degree fever or over.
We did read stories about quarantining employees like years ago on this show. If they're sick, they can still come in. You just put them in a separate room.
Yeah, just make a place for them.
That's crazy. Besides flexibility, provide preferred parking spots, longer lunches, or the opportunity to spend time on passion projects or tasks they enjoy. What kind of passion project are you going to have at an office job? Like, is there somebody at the work that's like, yes, I know, I gotta fill out all the money coming in and money coming out, but I have this other spreadsheet idea for some other stuff. That's what I'm passionate about. That other spreadsheet is nice.
What if you bought your like gas powered RC cars out?
Just gonna say that.
Started like working on them at your desk for
Well,
like
I won't
90 minutes. They'd come out and be like, "What are you doing?" Like, this is my passion. I do spreadsheets for you, but I really want to get into like RC car racing is my passion.
Brian, you can have an hour to work on your passion project. And I pull out a fucking electric guitar.
Oh, God.
Start strumming at the table.
Yeah. I don't want to see. Yeah, I don't want to see people tinkering on shit.
That would be the best in the world. If somebody would just at work and they were like, I'm on my lunch, I'm going to play my electric guitar real quick.
Someone starts whirring up a blender and making like baked goods or something. I'm going to whip up a strawberry fucking cake right now.
Remember, when employees enjoy their work, they're more productive. And that's great for your bottom line. Freak. You're weird. Volunteer together. No. This is a thing I turned down at the cable company. Partially because I was a piece of shit. But they would go around the neighborhood that we worked in, and they would clean up litter. They'd all meet on a Saturday at 9 in the morning, or a Sunday at 9 in the morning, because people worked on Saturday. They'd meet Sunday at 9 in the morning, they'd go around the neighborhood and pick up litter. I remember the first time they fucking asked me about that, I said, do you get paid for it? And they said no. And I'm like, well, I'm never going to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, never. I don't want to hang out with you people, and I don't want to clean up litter. Does anything... And first of all, the kind of volunteering I do would make every single other person at work uncomfortable. Like, I want to volunteer for anarchist shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And socialist shit. I don't want to just... I mean, I get the other volunteering, but it's like, if it's like a fun run or something like that, I'm like, just let somebody else fucking do that, you know?
Yeah, it is amazing, too, that they're like, we'll get them to clean up trash. They'll never pay attention to their diminishing wages.
Yeah. I guess, okay, so I was going to say that this one isn't the worst, okay?
Okay.
'Cause volunteering
That's fair.
is
That's
good.
fair.
But let me read this last paragraph on it real quick. It's not only good PR. Volunteering increases productivity, boosts cooperation, and attracts and retains employees.
I have to say, volunteering does improve your life. Like,
it does.
They are basically, they're using like a hack. They're just saying like, we can get these people to help other people out. They will understand that they have it way worse than they do here at this job. They'll never question how bad it is here once they see how bad other people have
it.
Yeah,
at the Mid-Ohio Food Bank, they'll be like, "Oh, this, you know."
Oh, I guess I could not have this job that provides so much for me.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is more than a monetary reward for me.
Yeah, I would. You know? That is, we need to do that. We should do that for the show.
Yeah, why not?
What we should do for the
do Food Not Bombs.
No, Street Fight TV. Not Street Fight Radio, Street Fight TV on Means TV.
Okay.
It would be funny to make a video of just people saying like corporate slogans out loud.
Yes.
Like, this is a rewarding experience that goes beyond monetary payment.
That is great. I'm going to write that down. And we got the final one here. Number 10. Offer the opportunity for employees to learn desired skills.
Okay.
I'm going to read it.
I like this one.
I'm going to read it.
They're going to pay me. They're going to pay for me to podcast at work?
Are they going to pay me to learn how to play Danzig songs on the guitar? Is that possible? Okay, here we go. People get stuck in a rut when they perform the same workday tasks day in and day out. When you're in a rut, it's easy to become less motivated, creative, and dissatisfied with your jobs. Can I say something? Can I?
Yeah, I'm going to cut you off after you cut me off.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I've worked with I've worked with a million older people, right, that have done the same job for 20 years. I did the same job for 7 years. My wife's done the same job for 20 years. I mean, worked for the same place for 20 years. And something that I think about a lot is that, like, nobody wants their job to be changed. You know, if you get a raise or promoted, of course you want a new job. But nobody wants the job that they come in and do every day their way to change. Nobody likes that. They don't want to learn all the other stuff. They want to do the thing that they come in and do every day. That's it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's the way that they have framed this, in that people can just come into work and kind of play around. This is like a 6-figure lifestyle.
Oh, for
like
sure.
The people that think about this kind of stuff are ones that are like, you know, they have too much time on their hands, because regular working people are doing a job with another job on top of it. Like, most people are working all the goddamn time. They don't have an extra 90 minutes during the day to do a ukulele practice.
Yeah.
You know, just to build their creative fucking brainstorming session.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. It's odd, though, you know.
Like, could you imagine going to McDonald's, or like showing up to your call center job and saying, like, could we get like an hour to do I want to do a little bit of like woodworking or something. I feel like it's kind of boring that I come here and I work and I just answer the phones. It's like, why can't I be creative while I'm here? Why can't I do some decoupage?
I actually think that what they mean by this is that, like, you come into work and you rotate jobs every day, sort of thing, you know? I think what he's saying is, like, you get in a rut when you perform the same task day in and day out.
Yeah.
So why don't you go... I'll throw it on McDonald's. Why don't the people that make the hamburgers run the drive-thru today, and the people that run the drive-thru make the hamburgers? Then we're well-rounded and we all know everything.
Well,
you know
like
what
that.
I mean?
Well, I like the idea of that.
Right. But most of the people that do the hamburgers, they do the hamburgers because it's in the kitchen and you
Sure.
don't have to deal with the customers. Because that's what I was shooting for. Making the hamburgers. Not fucking selling the hamburgers. I wanted to make the fucking hamburgers.
I just think that it comes off as people that have too much time at work, that are like, can I be developing like another skill while I'm here? And it's like, everybody else is here just to do the fucking job. What are you doing thinking about like refurbishing mid-century modern furniture? Like, that has nothing to do with making sure that like these spreadsheets are done.
Yeah. Yeah. You can
these kind of things are like, when they talk about, they say like Netflix lets you take as many days off as you want, and there's all these really interesting articles about places, but it doesn't matter to like the regular workplace. It all comes down to money per hour. They're trying to get the most amount out of you per hour. These philosophical conversations only come from a place of millionaires,
where money isn't.
Money isn't the
motivated by money.
Like, I can go anywhere and just get enough money to always have a car and a second house and all this stuff. But I want to go to a place where I can sometimes do a little bit of fucking taekwondo in the afternoon. Like, I can invite my sensei to come do a class in the middle of the day. Is that really big of a problem, Mr. Employer?
It is really detached from anything that most people are seeing in their real life. I mean, I would assume even the people that read this thing on LinkedIn are probably, you know, a lot of them are probably just people making $40,000 a year doing spreadsheets or whatever. You know what I mean? It's not the rich people that are reading this. It's the rich people writing this.
Yeah.
You know, and
it just comes from a weird place that ignores all reality and doesn't really address people where they're at.
Yeah. Because most people are not there.
Because we want to think of we're obsessed with this philosophical world of work.
So before we get out of here, I'm gonna read off some dates, and we got more dates coming up. So we'll be announcing more dates.
Oh yeah, we have a lot.
Yeah, we're gonna be out a lot. So on March 18th, we're going to be in Pittsburgh at Club Cafe. I think it's like Opus. You all know. Go to streetfightradio.com and click on the link, and it's you'll find our Pittsburgh tickets for sale. Also, in April, we're going to Florida, and we're gonna do a bunch of.
April 1st, we'll be at the Hooch and the Hive in Tampa. On April 5th, we're going to be at Rain Dogs in Jacksonville. And on April 8th, we'll be in Miami, Florida. We're also doing Orlando, Florida with Mayhem Wrestling. So that's going to be a big event in Orlando, Florida at Soundbar. There's going to be wrestling and Street Fight Radio. All of that information is available at streetfightradio.com. We're also going to have Jake Flores with us, one of our favorite comedians. He'll be providing the opening entertainment, and then we'll, of course, bring him on stage to fuck around with us. Also, in Columbus, Ohio, tickets were just released, and it's only like 2.5 weeks from now, but March 20th, Kath Barbadoro is flying to Columbus, Ohio. We're going to do a live show, our last variety show of the year, before we take off on tour.
Our last variety show for a while.
Yeah, okay.
Because we'll be out on tour, but we'll do. I'm talking about doing one out of state.
Yes.
Not too long ago, so we might do one out of state.
But for Columbus, Ohio, March 20th, please show up. We have a big budget that we need to get paid for. We're going to have Teratogen doing the music. We're going to have Kath Barbadoro as a guest. And, we did get the feedback from Variety Show 1 and 2. There was a lot of guests. There wasn't enough Street Fight Radio. So Brian and I will do a half hour ourselves. And then Kath will do the other half hour. There'll be fun music. It's going to be a really good time and a big fun party. So head to store.streetfightradio.com where you can get tickets to our live show here in Columbus. Also available right now, tickets to the Hellfire Congregation of Radical Egalitarianism. That's the second iteration of our tour with the Trillbillies and District Sentinel podcast. That's happening in Philadelphia on April 30th at Johnny Brenda's. Is that right?
Johnny Brenda's, April 29th.
29th, I'm sorry.
And then, but we're gonna get those announced. We're almost done. I'll tell you what. If you know somebody if you know a 100-seat venue that'll give us a chance to do 2 shows in Boston, let us know. And we would love to, or anything under 200, right? Is what we're looking for.
Anything less than what we have to hire cops for.
200.
We found out that, like, in Boston, if you have 200 people, you have to hire the fucking police. So we need a venue with 199 seats in it.
And we will do 2 if we have to.
We will do
it won't
2
be
shows
keeping
of
you out.
199.
We would like to do 2.
Yes.
So if you know of a venue, we're still contacting them. We're trying.
Boston's
a hard one. Boston's a hard place. And I mean, you could probably, I don't know, we could announce even more on that tour. Let us just announce the tour. It's the Trillbillies.
Tickets are available now, though.
Tickets are available now.
Littlefield in New York City, Trillbillies, District Sentinel, Street Fight Radio. It's happening.
Again, March 2nd, maybe, or 3rd. I don't know the dates.
Not March.
May.
It's May.
May 2nd or 3rd. We're getting it. We're going to launch that. We're going to actually make a big announcement with that one, I believe.
They're available, though.
They are available.
Check
you
social
can go
media.
buy them. Yes.
Check Littlefield's website. Check Johnny Brenda's website. Get your tickets now. It'll probably sell out. Thanks for listening to Street Fight Radio. We are continuing to spread this mess across the U.S. and appreciative of everyone that is along for the ride. We will be back later this week on Sunday. We're taking your calls. It's the ABCD call-in show, anybody but cis dudes, so please do not embarrass yourself and call in with your fucking stupid-ass voice.
We'll hang out. We'll hang up on you, and we don't just judge by the voice. But if you're calling in, don't be a cis dude.
Please don't.
Please don't. Just don't make us hang up on you.
Yeah, we would appreciate that.
We're going to have a guest in here for that, too.
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
Street Fight youth correspondent Rachel will be with us to take your calls this Sunday. We are Street Fight Radio. Please support us on the Patreon. we have more and more content coming that way. And
March Madness and some kind of monster.
It's happening on patreon.com/streetfightradio. We need your financial support to spread this mess across the U.S. And we will see you on Sunday. Peace.